welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a little bit difficult to explain. It's gonna kind of just be a chatty journal and planner update, kind of just talking about like where I'm at now, what's changed. And the reason I wanted to do this video is because I almost want it to be like a bookmark in my channel, because I have not filmed for the longest time. And the last time I was filming regularly, I was very much like neutrals, planner, fountain pens, just like a specific style. And I come back to YouTube and everything has just changed exponentially. Now I do realize that most people who watch my videos, if you're a subscriber, you probably already follow me on Instagram. I feel like the crossover is pretty high. Like Instagram is kind of my main platform is what I mean in saying that. And if you follow me on Instagram, there's no surprises. You see my content, you've obviously been keeping up with my journey and you probably know exactly what I'm doing. I don't think there's very many people who only subscribe to me on YouTube and therefore are like, oh my gosh, I'm confused, like, you know. But if you like looking at journals and crafty things and planners and you like just chattiness about that, then I'm sure you'll enjoy the video. But like I said, I kind of just want this to be like a bookmark. I would like to address two of the main changes, which is what about my planner? Where did my planner go? And neutrals, because I feel like I was known as being like a neutrals person for the longest time. And yeah, I just want to chat about what I'm loving right now. Anyways, I'm going to stop yapping and just get to it, okay? So the first thing that I want to talk about is my planner, okay? Now, I will say too, if you've followed me for years, you probably know that I change things every couple of years. I don't know. I don't like to sit still for too long. I like to switch up my style, my aesthetic, my color scheme. I get into different things. I very much hyperfixate on hobbies or hyperfixate on things. Very guilty of that. So when I first joined this community, I was actually very colorful, believe it or not. I was very, very pastels, cutesy kind of characters. That was my vibe. And then in, I think around 2019 or 2020, I switched to neutrals. Now the irony is my actual real life in-person style is very neutrals. It's been like that forever. Yeah, my journal style has been all over the place. So like I said, it was pastels and then I got into neutrals and now I'm back in color. And I think that's like the craziest part of all this. If you would have told me that I would have gone back to color, like, I don't know, a year ago, I never would have believed you. But along with the whole neutrals versus color thing, which I'll talk more about in a minute, I think one of the main changes is that I don't really show my planner anymore. I don't talk about my planner anymore. I don't show my planner anymore. And I'm gonna show you why that is. It's just not something that I'm really into anymore. Now, I will always, always, always use a paper planner. I need a paper planner. My brain can only function with a paper planner. If you looked at the phone calendar on my iPhone, it would be completely empty. So I am someone who's always needed to write things down and I will never not do that. But I used to take great care, if you followed me throughout my Hobonichi journeys and all that, I used to spend the extra time to kind of decorate my planner and make it look nice. And I'm just not really into that anymore. I just don't care for it. I'd rather spend the time doing journal spreads and just like decorating my journal. So because of that, my planner is now just bare bones, literally just pen. It was kind of a slow decline where it started to get a little more chill, but like I was still adding like at least a single sticker. And now it's just, oh my gosh, bare bones. So I'm going to show you guys too what I'm going to be using for next year planner wise, but I don't foresee myself sharing or posting my planner really on social media anymore, at least in this present day. As we know, things are subject to change always, but I really just have nothing to show and I don't feel that same passion about it. I'm using it because I need to. This is literally what keeps my life together. But as far as like it being cute and decorated, it's just not a thing. So anyways, this is the planner though that I've been using for 2025. It is the Take a Note Slim Weekly Insert. It's got Tomoe River paper. I really love it. I have it in my Superior Labor TSL cover, which is one of my favorite covers ever. So anyways, this, as you can see, is super freaking basic, okay? Literally just kind of pen, highlighter, keeps my life together. When things come up, I write them in. When it's time for the next week, I'll take the stuff from the monthly, I'll write it on the weekly, but it's very, very, very basic. And that's kind of why I just haven't been taking pictures of it anymore, sharing it. This is the current month. Like there's really just no point. Now, in the beginning of this planner, you can tell that I was still kind of doing like what I would do in my Hobonichi weeks, where I'll be so honest, I would do the week. Oh, and by the way, this is clearly 1 week and 2 weeks. So instead of like the Hobonichi weeks layout, it actually saves even more space because you have 2 weeks on one page. But anyways, I would go through a week in my life normally, writing down exactly what I needed. But then if I felt like there wasn't enough writing, I would go back in and kind of fill in some of the empty spaces with just some random like BS things just to make it more full writing wise. I would go in and add little stickers. Like, you can tell that I clearly like tried to make it look nice. As I flip, you will see how greatly that has changed. And I think it just shows how much I was just like, I don't really care about this anymore. Like, I just want to journal. I don't even want to spend even 5 minutes extra making my planner page look good. I just don't care. I don't care about it. So yeah, this is still when I was trying to like, you know, make it look nice and whatever, the best I can at least. And you'll notice that slowly less and less writing, okay? Now, obviously, like I always have like the events and stuff. I'll have like bill pays, like those are important things to write, is like when bills are due. But as far as all the extra fluff, I used to make a point to write like all my daily chores or errands or things in there. Now, I do like those things written down. It does help me to have a visual of those things written down, even if it's just as simple as laundry, something that like, do I really need to write down, like do the dishes or do laundry? But I like having a checklist. Like, that's just how I am. I like having a checklist. But when you see these blank weeks, my daily like chores or tasks, I've been writing on a sticky note. So that's why these pages have gotten even more bare bones, because I'm basically at the beginning of the week, I'm just writing in any appointments or events. But for all the things that I would kind of put on this side, because the way that I've always done it is appointments and events or like things out of the house, and then just like chores. But everything that goes on this side, I've honestly just been writing on a sticky note. So that kind of makes this even more bare bones. It doesn't really matter what I do, it works for me. I never forget things, I always get things done, so it's good enough for me. But literally you can tell like just how abysmal my planner has gotten, but it's fine. I mean, again, like it keeps me doing and remembering the things that I need to do and remember. So this is this week. Today is Thursday the 13th. So that's what's been up with my planner, and it's just because I don't care right now. I mean, again, I will always use it because I need it, but what I'm doing works for me, and I don't want to take the extra time to make it any fancier. I'd rather spend that time journaling because that is my true love. Now, for 2026, I already bought my 2026 planner. And again, I'm not going to be showing it. It is so basic. It is the Woodland Wardens 2026 Weekly Planner by Jessica Rue. I was in Little Craft Place one day, and I'm a huge fan of the artist Jessica Rue. I have her oracle decks. I have books that she's like illustrated and written. I'm just a huge fan of her art style. And when I saw this, I was like, you know what? There it is. There's my 2026 planner. I'm doing it. I don't even care because it has exactly what I need, which is literally just, I'm going to take my pen, not even a fountain pen, because at least here I'm using my fountain pen. My favorite fountain pen is the Pilot Vanishing Point in Extra Fine, which this pen, do not worry, still gets a lot of love. Every single journal spread I do that includes writing, I use this pen. So even if I'm not planning with this pen will still be getting plenty of use. I have to refill this bad boy like all the time because I use it so much. Anyways, before each month is a monthly view, I'll still be able to put the important things on my monthly view. And then, yeah, it's just lines. I'm just going to be writing in. It's going to look exactly like this, but just a different planner. So I won't be showing it. Like, it's just going to keep my life together in a very normal way. I'm actually also currently using a Kikuyo business planner for work, and it's very similar. It's just highlighter. I do color blocking and time blocking. Just keep stacking planners on top of one another. So this is my work planner, and I basically just color like time block for my meetings and stuff and just write in tab. It literally looks the same like every single week. You can see I use sticky notes for there as well for certain tasks. But anyways, yeah, this has all of Jessica's art, which I absolutely love. I can't wait to look at it for an entire year. And this is just gonna be my super chill, super basic 2026 planner. I don't even want to get something fancy with the promise to myself or the idea that I'm gonna start, I don't know, decorating my planner again, because I just really don't want to. And along the same lines, because we mentioned fountain pens, I have to say too, another thing that I have been neglecting lately is fountain pens. It is very, very sad. So fountain pens, one of my most viewed videos on my channel is my old fountain pen collection. This is my current fountain pen collection. I do have my Vanishing Point, which isn't in here, and then two more that are in a second drawer. Here, I guess I can show you. But I have cut it down a lot, but these pens that I have left, like, I don't know that I could ever get rid of. They are just my absolute favorites. So this is my current fountain pen collection, but admittedly, I have been adopting a project where I go through and start cleaning them out because I'm just not using them like I used to. I used to have colored ink, like these would be all my different variations of brown inks. I had obviously like blue in here, pink in here, green in here, but I'm not really writing with colored inks as much as I was back when I was super into fountain pens. I mean, I made a point to write a lot with these various colored inks so I could use all my different pens. Just not really doing that anymore. I feel like my journaling, it's always been collage focused, but right now it's especially collage focused. And I do still write certain pages, but I just use plain black ink. I would really love to do an updated fountain pen collection because like I still love them. If I didn't, I would sell them. So maybe one day, but yeah, not really using my fountain pens much right now either. And then besides my planners, I feel like the last kind of major change has been color, like I mentioned earlier. So I used to be the biggest, like, I don't know, neutral girly ever. I mean, I still am, again, in my personal style, but oh my goodness, have things changed as far as journaling. So this is an example of one of my collage journals. And as you can see, the style is very like neutrally vintage, I guess. This was my collage style for the longest time. This is just one of many journals that I've filled up with this kind of vibe. Now, I still love this vibe, okay? Do not get me wrong. I still love this vibe. And I'm not doing as many spreads like this right now, but still love it, and I still plan to continue to do it. I don't know. I actually just pulled out a pile of stationery to do a spread kind of like this. So it's not like this is a thing of the past. Like my planner right now is very much a thing of the past, but this is not, okay? I still very much love this, but as you can see how neutral it is. You can see how different this is from what I'm currently doing, okay? So like, yeah, let me show you this. Oops, I gotta glue that down. That's driving me nuts. It's supposed to be glued here, so it's like still a little popped up. I'll have to fix it. This was totally inspired by Norette, one of my favorite accounts. Anyways, that's that journal. Let me show you what journal I have been working in the most right now. This baby. I know you've seen it. We've all seen it. Yes, this is my junk journal. I call it a junk journal just to refer to the general aesthetic that has kind of taken the journal world and even the mainstream by storm. I am aware that I use more purchased items than actual trash and junk. I don't know, I'm a stationery fiend, okay? Like layering and collaging with stationery is just my thing. It's always been my thing, and I do not feel bad about that. So I don't use as much junk. I do use things that I pick up from places for sure. So if I, pick up like a sticker or a receipt from a place that I went, I'll use that. But I don't use like true trash very much. But yeah, this has kind of been, I don't want to say my main journal because as usual, I'm doing a ton of different journals and a ton of different styles as I always am. But this has been one of the kind of biggest journals, I guess, for me right now. And you can see how vastly different this is. It is an explosion of color, okay? Like never did I think that I would be using this much color again. I'm almost done with it too. I actually already started my second one. I decorated the outside. and a little bit on the inside. This is my little intro page. This was from an event about Martina's new book. And then I was in Austin last weekend for Eric Over's pop-up, which, spoiler alert for my favorites. Oh my God, I have been obsessed with Eric Over. Like, I have made way too many things, and I'm just like, oh, I'll talk about it more in my favorites video. Anyways, that's as far as I've gotten. I wanted to do these spreads in my new one versus my old one, just because they were more current. I don't know. So I only have 2 pages left in here, and I'm just gonna do like fun ones, like any events, they're gonna go in here because I want it to kind of be at least a little bit chronological. But yeah, I'll do whatever to kind of fill up those last 2 pages. My New York spreads, I did these in a journal with me. If you want to see the journal with me for these 2, it is 2 videos back on my channel. But anyways, yeah, I just like never in a million years thought that this is what I would be doing right now. And along with this, I think another like big part of what I'm kind of currently into, look at this TN, okay? Like customizing my traveler's notebooks, making them as colorful as possible. I glued a bunch of buttons onto this one and beads, and I am just beyond obsessed with it. I have been making so many little crafts, like this little magnet. Like, who am I right now? Just with all the color and all the little things. I don't know, but I love it so much. Got a little Laneige here that Lauren made me with some charms on it. The vibe right now is very colorful, okay, very maximalist, very trinkety. Like that is my current vibe. Anyways, TN, super cute, super colorful. But I think another big thing that I've been really into is blind boxes. I guess not necessarily blind boxes, but just like trinkets in general. I was never one to collect stuff like this. It's weird because I am a collector at heart, but I never collected stuff like this. But anyways, this is my blind box journal, okay? And basically I tape the card in, and it doesn't have to be from blind boxes. I can write about any trinkets in here, like calico critters. Okay, I love calico critters, and I want to be able to write about them in here. But yeah, another explosion of color. I just kind of write about, you know, my figures. Like this little cloud girl Melinta is this one right here. Now, because I have so many journals and like not enough time, I haven't gotten very far at all. That's all I've done. These are all of my cards from all of the blind box figures that I have, which I know is ridiculous, but I can proudly say I have not bought a figure in months. I think like when you start collecting a new thing, you kind of want to catch up all the previous collections. So it's always like a lot at once, at least if you're me, and then you kind of just stop. Because like at this point, I feel like I have everything I want except for new stuff that might come out. That's the one thing about whenever I get into like a new style or a new vibe or whatever, it always ramps up my shopping. And at this point, like I discovered like junk journaling and Martina Calvi November of last year. So it's been a full year, which is insane. It's been a full year since I've been doing color and been doing this style. So things have definitely calmed down a lot. I don't know, it's just not as crazy as when I first got into this. Like I was buying a lot more when I first got into this because all my stationery was neutrals. I was buying all this colorful stationery and I was buying all these trinkets. Like it's crazy. Like I can admit, like I am self-aware enough to know that I am like overconsumption final boss, and I understand that, and I know that's not good, but I think I don't know, dude. I just feel like life is so shitty. Like look at the state of the world right now. And I know it sounds like I'm like justifying, but this stuff makes me happier than anything. And also, I have been doing this hobby for 9 years. I discovered this hobby 10 years ago, created my Instagram that I'm still using, still going strong 9 years ago. Like this hobby has been majority of my adult life, almost all my adult life. What am I saying? It is everything to me. It is like my favorite activity. I feel so much joy. I get so much joy from it. And also, this is the one place that I spend money. I am so frugal in every other aspect of my life. When it comes to apartments, like places, you know, to live, cars, groceries, just even clothes. Like I buy clothes not even once a year. Like this is the one place, this hobby, that I do let myself have a little bit bigger of like a spending budget. It just makes me happy. I would never like be able to like afford it or sustain it if I was spending money here, but also spending money in all other aspects of my life. Like I simply wouldn't be able to afford it. But the way that I do things, like I'm frugal other places so I can treat myself a little bit more when it comes to my hobby. But that said, I am aware that I have like an absolute insane amount of stuff, but also, I think it's worth noting that I've been collecting stationery again for literally 9 years. But that is not an excuse I can use when it comes to blind boxes. Unfortunately, we know that that's all new. But yeah, I went way too crazy on the blind boxes in a short amount of time. And then I was like, okay, I have to stop. Like, I can't actually do this. Like, this isn't sustainable. So I stopped and I haven't spent money on them in a while. It's a journey. I mean, I will admit it's a journey. I think that I definitely have the dopamine problems when it comes to like shopping, but that's a conversation for another day, okay? What else do I want to show you guys? Well, it is very hard to film certain corners of my room because my desk is against a window, but I guess I'll just kind of show when I talk about trinkets and blind boxes. That's kind of what we are looking at. Again, it's really dark and hard to show, but my absolute favorite ones are right here on my desk. Skull Panda, Nyota. I've just got so many little trinkets everywhere. I absolutely love it. So it's kind of like every corner of my room at this point, or every corner of like my craft desk is just filled with trinkets. I am definitely gonna have to do a full craft room tour for YouTube. I love my cart so much. I would love to do like an in-depth look at my cart. I would love to do an in-depth look at all my stationery drawers and everything. I kind of have things separated by aesthetic. Like I have like all my cutesy deco stuff and then all my like junk journal-y style stuff. So stay tuned. I got a lot to film, okay? Anyways, this is a Midori B6 Slim. And this has kind of been my other favorite thing right now. We've got kind of like the junk journal-y aesthetic, and then this, which is kind of like a, I guess like cutesy deco, kind of kawaii aesthetic. I don't know. I was inspired to start this journal by hand lettering Tings on Instagram. I'll link her in the description. I saw a spread by her and I was just like, I want to do that. I don't know. I want to start a journal in that style. So primarily it is, again, very colorful. Lots of little sparkles and deco stickers is kind of like the vibe. And lots of color. I don't know. You probably just saw in the clip before me mention my little cutesy deco drawer. That's kind of where I keep all of the stationery like this. So like as an example, like Atelier by Joe, Little Hecky is another one of my favorites. I love Little Hecky. Mochi Gardens is another favorite. So it's kind of just like this style stationery. Obviously, while it's still very colorful and fun, it's clearly different from like the junk journal aesthetic or whatever. So that's what this notebook is specifically for. Also, I really shouldn't be showing this because this is probably something to keep for my favorites video, but I got this cover for my A6 Hobonichi. This Hobonichi is really funny. It started out as daily pages, so again, kind of like a planner, like a decorative vibe planner. And then I started doing more, like I guess like journal-y spreads in it. I don't know, kind of inspired by Claire from Online, Coffee Monsters Co. It's really, I gotta be honest, hard for me to explain the way my brain works and the way my journals work, right? Because how do I determine what spread goes in here versus my like regular writing inserts I'm about to show you? How do I determine that? The answer is, I don't know, it's just a feeling. Like, I don't know. Only my brain knows how to determine like what goes where. Like Coffee Monsters Co. to me, that's very Hobonichi. Like that's got to go in the Hobonichi. That doesn't really fit kind of anywhere else. I don't know. Some of these are documenting orders. So I was like, you know what, Hobonichi. So I don't know. That's kind of another thing that's been in rotation. I think I'm probably confusing you guys. You guys are probably like, none of this shit makes any sense, but. So the last thing that I want to show, I guess, is my like general kind of writing journals. Now, actually, I just realized in order to impress upon you the changes in my life, I am going to show you my previous everyday regular writing journals. Now, the way to explain these, my older regular everyday writing journals are very neutral in vibe, and my current ones are very colorful. So I think like you'll really be able to see the difference here. But to explain what these inserts are, okay? I have a travel journal. Every time I travel, every time I go somewhere, it obviously is gonna go in the travel journal. But what about when I just go to a coffee shop with friends, or I have a day out with friends, or even like, what if I just get some new stationery and I'm just in the mood to use it? What if I just wanna write about regular like daily life? Well, that is what these inserts are. These inserts are kind of just like your general everyday, I would say my natural genuine collage style, like the Amanda style, I suppose, because it's like the junk journal is obviously a specific aesthetic. Even my B6 Midori is obviously like a specific aesthetic and style of collage. But I would say these, it's kind of where things go when they don't have a place. I guess that's how I describe it. By the way, stop using receipts. Stop using receipts, because that's what happens after months. It's just a plain white paper. I knew that, but I was always like, eh. And yeah, never using receipts again. So yeah, like this was a random day that I hung out with friends. I cut this croissant out of the place that we went to eat. Like it was just a random day. I don't know, like same here. I remember this, I got this washi in the mail and I really just wanted to use the washi. So I picked out things that matched and I just wrote about my very regular, mundane, probably just a workday thing. Like it really is random. I went to go see a movie. It's like, I'm not gonna put the movie and the movie ticket in my travel journal. I'm not traveling. Well, where does it go then? Here, that's where it goes. That's what these inserts are for. I'm sure that makes sense. This was a day that Carol was visiting and we went to the pool. So I printed out this little Instax, like, you know, like you get it, right? You get it. So the thing too is that I have always had these inserts in both passport and standard size. And that's really just because, like, this was Lauren's birthday. See, you know, it's like, where else am I gonna put that? So I've always had these inserts. It's kind of the same exact concept, just passport and standard, because sometimes you don't have enough stuff, so passport works. And then sometimes you have so much stuff that passport would be too small. So like this was a day that, this is so old, this insert. This was a day that me and my ex went out. I literally printed some pictures, just kind of wrote about what we ate. Same thing here. We went out to eat. I don't know, just wrote about my day. This was a random Sunday. Literally, again, just wrote about my day. You can see the point here. I remember here, I got a Gelato Peak bag and I really wanted to use this piece of ephemera. I had also gotten this like paper. So it's like, it's a place to use ephemera and stickers and stationery and also just kind of write about my day. You get the point, right? But you can see the style, you can see the vibe, you can see the neutrals. This was the Eras tour. This was a day we went to Egg House, another concert here in my hometown, Noah Kahn. Random, just felt like collaging. This was my birthday, so I printed some pictures and, you know, Sabrina Carpenter, saw a Sabrina Carpenter concert. Here, I wanted to do a spread with the Garden Gnome collection. Anyways, that's the end of that insert. So you get the point. You get the point of what these inserts are for. And now I am going to show you my current ones. This is my passport one, which by the way, I'm using this Midori insert. I kind of regret it. I am gonna have to finish it because I really like the spreads I've done in here so far, but I think I'll stick to Traveler's Company from here on out because the ink shows through a lot more in this Midori one than it does with Traveler's Company. Anyways, I got this insert from a workshop that I took, which is why I was just like, okay, I'll use it. Like I did this page and I was like, that's cute, like I'll keep using it. So I made it like my new like passport, whatever. Here, literally, I just wanted to use Free to Fly. I'll talk about that in my favorites, brand I love. I had these cool Lily of the Valley stickers and also a sample of this bear tape, and I just thought they went good together. Same with this. I had a sample of this little witch tape. Like, I just wanted to use it, and that's all I've done in this one so far. Now, obviously, so far in here, it's just, like, stationery, but I will also kind of document events and things as they happen as well. I feel like recently, all of my events have been documented either in like my junk journal or my travel journal. So for example, the Austin trip I just took, because all the stuff that I got, like I took home this sticker and, you know, the photo booth strip and these stickers, like it just kind of, this Iced Matcha Club was the matcha people that were there. That was a stamp from Paper and Craft Pantry that I colored in. I just felt like everything that I had taken home from Austin matched the vibe of this. So that's why I did it in here. Same with this. And then here's my standard size one. I haven't gotten very far in here as well. This was a collection from Taylor Ryan that I wanted to use. This was just a random like color scheme idea that I had that I wanted to use. And then this was for fall. Like I wanted to do kind of like a fall and purple and whatever. Again, that's it. That's how far I've gotten. But you can already, I think, see the differences between these and my old ones. These just have so much more color. I think the thing with me and my journals is I just kind of analyze what I'm trying to do. What stationery am I trying to use? What ephemera did I take home that I'm trying to use? What am I trying to do? What is the goal of this insert? And then I just kind of pick the journal that I feel best fits what it is I'm trying to do. So I think that's kind of my motto, right? Like I have so many journals in all different aesthetics and all different styles because I can't pick one. I just want to do everything. I can't just appreciate things. I have to do everything for myself. So yeah, I just kind of like analyze things as they come up. If I'm in the mood to journal, what do I feel like doing? What am I going to journal about? I kind of just look at everything and then I decide what journal it fits in. Anyways, that's the end. I think I've yapped enough. Like I said, I just wanted to talk about color, my lack of planning, what I'm loving right now, trinkets, collecting, just all the things right now that I'm obsessed with. And I hope that video was somewhat enjoyable and not too boring, but stay tuned. I'm super excited. I'm really enjoying filming again, especially about all these things that I'm currently loving. So thank you so much for watching. I know my channel's kind of dead in the water. Sorry, I'm putting my notebooks back. I know my channel's kind of like dead in the water at this point. It makes sense when you take a really long hiatus, but I don't really care because I'm not filming for views or anything. I'm filming because I have always loved to yap about the things that I love, and that's that. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.